have is touch screens for important things like your heating. And to have switches,
yeah, well,
I've never just reach without thinking.
I've never had to worry about that.
Yeah, I've never had a car with that, but
No.
some of them you go into 2 or 3 layers of screens to change your
I struggle with that on my phone enough.
Hi everyone, welcome to Nightfall Drives. Doug here, and today Ian has kindly made the trip all the way across Hertfordshire in his Porsche 968 Cabrio. So thanks very much, Ian, for coming along today.
Oh, it's a great pleasure. On a day like this, it's fantastic.
Yeah, we're making the most of the summer with this. And
not sure it's summer, but you know.
Roof down, and so this is actually well, I'm pleased to hear it's a daily, well, not necessarily daily, but regular run.
Oh, it does. It does get used a fair bit. Probably not as much as I'd like to, but then life gets in the way.
Yeah.
So, no, it does go out. And I try and use it. It's certainly not one for polishing too much.
Yeah. How long have you had it?
I don't know. I'm trying to think. 3.5 years, 4 years, something like that.
Yeah.
We've done about 7,000 miles in that time. So it's done now nearly 75,000. So some people might say that's just running in. But,
I think they'll go on for hundreds of thousands.
Yeah, it's built in 93 and registered in 94. So it'll be 30 years old next year. You know, for a 30-year-old car, it's looking reasonably sharp. It's never had major restoration. I've tried to keep it in good mechanical nick. Bodywork needs a little bit of work on it. But it's an enjoyable thing.
And it's very much up my street with the obviously I have MX-5, and it feels like a big German MX-5 in a way. I mean that in a positive way.
No, I think that's right. Though it's not very wide compared with modern sports cars. You put it next to a 911, you can probably get 2 of them.
Yeah.
But it is reasonably long. And as you say, I mean, I'm 6'3", so I need something with a bit of leg room in it. And even then, I've got the seat right back as far as it'll go. Though it's very comfortable to drive. We've done a fair few decent length trips in it, and you come out feeling very as if you've just got into it. So it's more of a grand tourer than a sports car, I'd say. It's not one for throwing round tight lanes. But
I suppose
it's very comfortable.
Yeah, and it's also the transaxle family. You get it right. It's the engine at the front, gearbox at the back. It's a great weight distribution.
Correct.
And it's kind of the end of the line of that family that was started in the 70s, really.
It was, yeah. I guess the 924 was the first, which always had I guess a bad name amongst Porsche purists. I guess like all of us, some people get a bit geeky about things, but the 924 was a fine car, and handled brilliantly, especially the quick ones that eventually got made. But this was, I guess, the culmination of it, and it is said to be one of the best built Porsches ever. I guess, though they might argue about that now. But certainly it's good fun. You know, for a 30-year-old car, it goes pretty well, handles pretty well. It's a joy to have.
Yeah.
And relatively, you know, in the scheme of things, relatively low cost motoring, because they don't depreciate as long as you look after them.
Yeah, and there aren't many of these around at all, are there? There's maybe I think 3,000 Cabrios roughly built.
Yeah, so not many still around. I think about 80 in the UK left registered. So my guess is that only half of those will be out on the road at any time. So yeah, you don't see them around. See a few more of the coupes, but not many.
Yeah.
And even at Porsche events, this tends to be the only 968 Cabrio that turns up, even at big ones. So
Yeah.
so it's pretty. Yeah, it's a bit special these days.
Yeah, and it's quite unique as well. It marks the end of the line of the transactional era, but also it's a 3 litre 4 as well, isn't it? Which is
correct.
Pretty big.
Yeah. With variable cam timing.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
that was the culmination of that engine, really.
Yeah, shall we have a look under the bonnet?
Yeah, can do. So there's a big engine.
Oh, it's a big lump.
It's a big lump, and you kind of do feel it when you're driving. There's a fair bit of weight in the front.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. It's directly between the suspension mounts.
Yes.
So, but then the gearbox being at the back, you've got that great balance.
You have more room. Lots of.
Yeah.
We have oak trees, and
Yeah,
it fills up everything.
Collected some countryside on the way here.
Collected from countryside.
I guess this engine would have just been in this car, wouldn't it? It was what did they?
Well, the 944 had this engine, but without the cam timing, variable cam timing.
Yeah.
And the basic block was half of a 928 V8 engine.
Oh, okay.
That was what they developed it from.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a sound engine and pretty well built. And I'm sure if I was into tuning, I could have it produce a few more ponies.
Yeah, but it's pretty torquey as it is.
It's nice and torquey. And I like cars that. It's kind of why I like diesels.
Yeah.
I like cars with torque and just easy to drive, really, rather than. Though this, you need to get the revs up to really produce the power. But just trundling along, it's very relaxing, actually.
Yeah.
And that's what I rather like about it.
Yeah.
I'm not a racer. I just enjoy using it as more in a Grand Tourer mode.
Yeah. Well, the interior is very plush.
Yeah, it's just very comfortable, I guess,
Convertible
for its era.
And the back seats just a bit of extra room, I guess, rather than.
I have had people
seats,
sit in it. Not two, one sort of sprawled across. But you can't really say. I mean, it's a 2+2, isn't it? I don't think I know any 2+2s where anybody can get in the back of them. Though
No.
911s, I have seen adults in the back of 911s, which is a bit random.
It's possible.
It is possible.
Kath has attempted to get in the back of an Evora.
I made it. I did it.
I once got in the back of a TR7. Can you imagine that?
Oh God.
That was draped across the parcel shelf on a very drunken evening. But that's a long, long while ago, when I was much younger and probably more manoeuvrable.
Yeah. There is quite a bit of storage room in the boot as well, isn't
Yeah,
there?
I mean, we've put a lot of. I've got a blow-up kayak, and I've had that in there with all our luggage to go away for a week, and no problem at all. It was easy.
Yeah.
Whereas our SLC, you'd no way you get a blow-up kayak in it. Well, not with anything else, anyway.
No, absolutely not.
The coupe actually is well known for being good with luggage, because it's, if you imagine it comes up like this, and you've got all this space in here.
Yeah.
And you can put an awful lot in, because you can put the back seats down.
And it creates a bit of a.
They kind of these
area.
flop down.
Yeah.
I have to get into the boots to do that. All my rubbish. And you have just little pulls that you pull, and then you can push it the seats down.
Oh yeah, daylight.
Like that, and you've got a big loading area there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
actually you can get a huge amount of stuff in.
You could transport the Mona Lisa or something. Slot it through there.
Yeah. I don't think you'd quite get skis in there, mind, but
No, but they look quite cool.
a board probably. You could get a snowboard in there.
Yeah.
Don't think you could get skis on a thing like this.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Well, shall we take her out for a spin then?
I think that sounds like a cracking idea.
Cabrios need a good heater.
They do. This does have a good heater.
Yeah, like straight away. That's very good. I do like the blue interior as well. There's quite a few.
It's quite smart,
Porsches like that. Yeah.
Oh, it's just very restrained.
Yeah.
Unlike the early 80s ones,
Yes.
which were all a bit leery. And there were some weird colours too.
There's a lot of browns, but also kind of between grey and beige.
There's a mint green paint colour that looks amazing these days because it's so different.
Yeah. Yeah, I do love a green. The right type of green.
Yeah, but this is a mint. It's sort of peppermint.
Yeah.
You can see what I mean about it being more of a Grand Tourer than a.
Yeah, it's very
than a sports car. It's quite relaxed
really
and comfortable.
Very good ride, yeah.
Yeah, and I think part of that, if I think the Mercedes that we've got, it's got 19-inch wheels and little skinny tyres, and you feel every bump. This, of course, I think 16s and big fat tyres. They take some of the shock out.
Yeah, so when you parked up over the curb, it was there's no worry about curbing it.
Not at all.
Left at the end.
Go a bit.
Yeah.
Maybe not the fastest.
There's a bit of urgency there. And you can just knock it down to gear when you fancy.
Well, on Tiptronic you can.
Yeah. Oh yeah, so you've gone into the the side gate.
Yeah. Just adds a little bit of fun.
Yeah.
I'm sure you go just as quickly without it, but it just means you've got a bit more control.
Yeah,
I think 6-speed manual would be just that bit more entertaining, I guess.
Yeah, a bit more involving, but here you can knock it down to gear and get ready for out of the corner.
Yeah, give it a bit more welly out of the corner. Gives you access to all their resources and people, and they're all real enthusiasts.
Yeah, similar to the Lotus Club, there's so much information in the forums and
I guess it's the same with all the major clubs.
Yeah.
But the Porsche one, I think, is the largest.
Yeah, I think they've got divisions, haven't they? There's, I don't know if it's England, Wales, Scotland, or...
Well, I'm a member of Region 21, which is the Chilterns.
Oh, right.
So there's about 30-something, 32?
Yeah. 30 region, yeah. I suppose there's not enough Lotuses about for that.
Actually, I nearly came this way. Perhaps I would have been.
This is a nice bit of road with. Once we get through the 40 limit here, it's fairly open country road. And a bit of a sort of S-bend in the middle as well.
Okay. As I say, I'm not the world's greatest driver. I'm quite risk averse.
Well, in a Cabrio, you can just enjoy the scenery and.
You don't need to hustle too much.
It's there if you need it, but
have a bit of fun if you want to.
Yeah.
But it's not too bad. I mean, going a little too quickly. It's perfectly comfortable, and you can talk quite comfortably. You don't have to shout.
Yeah, you don't have to shout, and I guess. You get a little bit of breeze coming through here, don't you? But
yeah, a little bit. It's not a problem, is it?
Yeah. Here's the S-bend.
Do we go right?
Yeah, let's go right. We'll head over for lunch. Yeah.
Sounds like a brilliant idea. As you said earlier, it's it was the last of a line, which is kind of interesting. And you see, with the value of the Club Sport 968s, some of which are heading up to sort of 50k now.
The car that's got less kit on it is the one that people want for some reason.
Well, they were cheaper to buy when they were new.
Yeah, that's
the random thing.
Unheard of, isn't it, these days? You get a stripped out version for less money.
Yeah, that's good marketing in my book.
Yeah. I left it here.
Yeah. Okay, I broadly know where we are now.
I don't know how many Club Sports there were, but there's certainly not many Cabrios. So
no, there seem to be a lot more Club Sports now than there were when they were new.
Have you driven any other Porsches?
No, I haven't actually. That's why I quite like. I want to go and try a Cayman out. So they look quite fun.
Yeah, as I was saying, the Cayman was in the back of my mind when Ventus, and then I'm sure they're a lot of fun, but I never got around to driving one.
I think they're quite, you know, as a sports car, they're quite a good daily driver. But then so were these in their way.
Yeah, I read something about the American Dental Association had a deal with Porsche or something, so there are quite a few American dentists for some reason with these using them as the daily drivers.
Yeah. Well, the guy that I used to look after it, or his company, he was telling me when I first got it, because I had him go over it to make sure there wasn't anything major wrong, and he fixed a few bits. Particularly there was something funny with the steering, which he sorted out for me. And he was saying he uses 968s in the winter, so he buys them kind of this time of year, uses them all the way through the winter because they're reliable, they're easy to use, comfortable. The coupes he doesn't tend to have these ones, and then he sells them kind of April time, normally for a profit because he knows what he's doing, because he can buy them cheap, and then has probably a 911 during the summer.
Yeah, pretty robust, aren't they?
Seem to be. Hey, there's things that goes wrong with them. See what I mean? Where you need to get it up to 4,000 revs before it really starts to pick up.
Yeah.
But I very rarely do that. A, because you don't get the opportunity very often.
And when you do, there's enough for it to be interesting, but you're not going to be getting in too much trouble, are you?
No. Well, there's nowhere you can go really quickly, is there, really?
No.
And actually having a car that, you know, I guess both of your cars, your sports cars, are probably good fun at relatively low speeds.
Yeah.
To be honest, that's
thing,
far more interesting now, because you just can't race around like maybe you once used to be able to.
Yeah, you have to pick your moments, and if you can enjoy it at, 3 out of 10, just cruising along.
Yeah.
Which you can in this and my cars as well. It feels I quite enjoy the lift off crackles on the exhaust, and it's a bit childish, but you can still enjoy it at 40 miles an hour.
Yeah, making lots of noise.
Yeah.
But this is quite, I quite like this exhaust note.
Yeah.
But a Cayman would be with the flat six. That's quite tempting.
Yeah.
Just for the noise, not for anything else.
Yeah. This is very nice. I think I always like to think I prefer something other than a 4-cylinder, because everything's got 4 cylinders, but this is such a big engine, it's got a very
got a different tone, isn't it?
Yeah. I guess it's the standard exhaust.
I think it's a stainless exhaust that was put on by a previous owner, so so it does sound a little different to the standard.
Yeah. It's certainly not intrusive, really, because it's gone away now, really. But when you're pulling away, it's nice.
Well, when I last put it in for a full service, I had the belts done just because I knew they'd been done not that long ago, but prior to my ownership. I just wanted to make sure I had all the belts done, but they found a crack in the distributor, which was causing a bit of a misfire, and actually the noise was far more intrusive then. You kind of didn't hear it as a misfire.
Yeah. You're saying on the whole it's been pretty reliable and
yeah, I suspect it's a very reliable engine. Just generally all of these.
Yeah, but it's a classic. It's I think it's certainly in the classic category these days, but it doesn't necessarily have that by the side of the road risk that you get with some.
Which was, part of the reason this was one of my choices. I think the other one I was looking at, I mean MX-5, but I can't get in them. Fiat 124.
Yeah. I
quite like those. Even the new one's quite attractive. So that would have been, a very reliable one, whereas the old ones, not so much. And I knew I wanted to go down to Le Mans in it, so it would need to be reliable to do that. I think this was the first model they had the Tiptronic on, actually.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. It's a nice feature. But then, I don't know how much, 15 years later or something, they're onto the dual clutch.
The PDK, yeah.
PDK, yeah, which everyone seems to like.
It seems to be very good. But I'm still tempted by a manual.
Yeah, I can imagine, yeah. It's depends how you're driving it really, but if you're on these sort of roads, it's just a bit more involving.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Ian, for coming out today. It's been
it's been fun.
Glorious day for it as well, and really enjoyed it. It's a lovely motor, and it's a shame they stopped making them when they did. And I'm glad to see you're still enjoying it. So thanks so much for sharing it with us.
It's been a joy. Thanks, Doug. Yeah, it's nice to be among enjoyable roads too, because there are not that many around my way. Which is a bit more built up.
So. Yeah, it's nice to take these things out where they're designed for.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you've enjoyed today's video, subscribe for hopefully more to come, and please like, and we'll have some more out soon, hopefully.
Click the like button.
Doing my job for me, thanks Ian.